I'm like Batman, but instead of rich with money, I'm rich with something else. And like, you guys are the actual superheroes. I just get to show up at like the account management meetings and be like, what are they? They're not the Avengers.
Justice League.
Did the Justice League do their job? You know, and they're like, yeah, they did. It's like, oh, okay, great.
Okay, who's doing this?
Dennis.
Good. You're up.
Doing what? Leading.
Okay.
The instantaneous regret of scheduling this meeting. What happened is because of all the changes of systems and workflow or non-workflow between departments, we're having a hard time understanding who is in charge of what.
Great.
And because of it, how we can delegate and actually help each other. So this is to address the fact that there's a lot of, I'm not too sure's, I don't know if you're the person who, where does this go? Like, what do you actually do? And can I depend on you for X, Y, and Z? Like, that needs to be addressed.
Totes.
In terms of, I think the process of like, no process is too complicated. Let's just do the org chart. So our objective based on this is to, I guess, just make sure everyone's clear on what each of these roles are accountable to. So the most effective way, I think, to do that is we're not going to define specific accountabilities, responsibilities. But let's just have an open conversation about clarifications of like, who do I go for this? Because the clearer we are on this, the clearer we can be certain in being like, hi, I know this is your job, here's a thing for you to do, and not have like guilt or like worrying about if people are too busy and all that type of stuff. Like the busyness we just manage individually. We can't allow busyness to interfere with correctly passing balls. The majority of my communication challenges, and so when I'm like, I'm trying not to rob you of accountability, I'm referring to the fact that I live here, and technically, I'm an investor and he just reports to me, and I'm like, as the leader of the company, this is what I want to happen. And then he operationally is meant, according to this org chart, to be like, okay, I'm accountable to this whole structure, right? So him and I talk a lot about all of these things, but ultimately when we're talking about, hey, are we gonna hire somebody? I look at Everett and I'm like, so Everett, based on all of my emotional compulsion and all the things we've talked about, should we hire somebody? Like that's how we have our conversations in our partnership, because he moderates it through his operational accountabilities and I get to be like, yeah, this is all the cool shit I want in life. Does that make sense? And now I am on this org chart again as one of your team members, and I am learning how to communicate without bringing both of those opinions to bear. And so when you guys are like, I really want Alexander to issue a direction to me and I'm resisting it, it's because I'm like locked up somewhere and just trying to figure out how to respond. I want to talk about me as a team member. It is impossible for you to annoy me. So what I want to do is mitigate any risk of anybody feeling like I can't actually just send Alexander. Like if you're in tickets every day and there's days you don't send them to me because you're worried you're going to be annoying or anything like that, don't be. Like I'm happy to. Like it's just, he's right, it's not enough to go around, so okay, but how do we in the short term, you know, make it manageable? Like, so, you know, Jen helps me schedule things, but she's not my scheduler. She schedules me in her areas of accountability. You're scheduling me now in your areas of accountability. You put things in my calendar, I guess. I mean, like, the number one item on my triage and hierarchy is what's scheduled.
So I've pulled
Right.
back.
So really, you each need a quota
Yeah, like there's only
of
so
how many hours
times.
in a week you're allowed to use up.
Yeah.
I try to get 1 hour a week, and that's probably what's possible. And like,
I mean, I'm happy to ration out my calendar, then it's just a pie chart of who gets the time. Like, I don't know how to you know, okay, we do that. So how do we make it so everyone can see my calendar? And Johnny gets to a ticket where he's like, this is the thing I want to spend my 6 Alexander credits on, and he puts it in my calendar. And we can all just be a team, and Christine gets 6 credits for billable projects, and she gets 12 or 18 credits for selling shit, and that way it all just... Okay, so we just all then need to agree.
I'll put in 60.
So Everett, you need to, this is your accountability. Alexander needs a pie chart, and each of them, according to what we've put on these 2 flip charts. Okay, then, Johnny, we're done.
Okay.
Early. Thanks, everybody.
Do you have something else to say here, John?
For what?
I thought you were writing notes.
No.